Yeah, we barely ever use branches, so I think we really need to clarify that. That question from Mark Fay.
And just FYI, if we are using branches, a couple things. They don't last weeks. They last a day or two typically. We might have branches that are 2 or 3 weeks old for review purposes, but we eventually delete them. So branches are short-lived and integrated pretty quickly. But it's really common. It's like, oh, wait, we don't know how we're going to do this. We start working on something, and it's going to take a long time for us to hand off who's on the keyboard. So get what? Hey, push it on a branch. I'll take it over. And I'll pick up with failing tests on a branch. So, but if we think we've got something worth going forward, or if we're still trying to learn enough to even learn how to think about it, put it in a branch, experiment, and then oftentimes those branches are there for reference. In fact, we just did this 2 days ago. Adam had a branch, and we were reviewing it, and then when we got what we figured out how to do, re-implemented, branch is gone. So the branch is a backup tool for when we don't know how to slice it thin enough to do trunk based.
Right. And I would say too, just to be clear, if someone asked me about the day in the life of, my day in the life of being a developer, branching is not something that would come to my mind, because typically nothing. I don't do any branching on the typical day or week.
Question with that, actually, because, folks here aren't branching much. What is merge? What merge conflicts do you run into? What merge strategies do you have?
I mean, we have the rebasing, but I hardly ever deal with a merge conflict. I don't even remember the last time I had to deal with a merge conflict.
And that's a 15-person team actively programming all day long.
Yeah, and the reason for that is you go back and we coordinate every morning and we talk about, what conversation is, we talk about whether we're going to be stepping on each other's toes. So we're going to step on each other's toes, but not very often. And when we do, rather than sending something in Slack, someone will just go jump over to the room and say, hey, can we have a quick chat? So the first thing we do is we don't get them very often. When we do get them, if they're easy to resolve, we resolve them. But if there's even any question at all, we'll bring the person in. Yeah, micro commits for the win, 100%.
And basically the 99% of the time, there's no branches. So a very tiny percentage of the time we'll use branches. And then we actually like the use of those branches, that 1%, right? They serve a purpose.
And from the chat here, yeah, like if there is a merge conflict, it's very trivial because we're trying to commit our work very quickly. We're continuously integrating, hopefully every 5 to 10 minutes. So sometimes it's even better to be like, all right, git reset hard. You know what? I'll just make the change again because it was so small. Maybe I just did a rename or an extract method, and it's just easier just doing the change again.